Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're discussing our favorite animated ships from shows and movies.
It may not be February nor Valentine's Day, but we're going to feel the love tonight.
Now you know these shows have lots and lots of shipping, whether it's canonical in the show or the fandom goes crazy and creates their own ship that doesn't exist, but hey, they love it anyway.
Right, big word, canonical. So, we're going to start, of course, with our favorite ship of all, Starco.
Yes, and everyone knows what that is. If they watch Star Wars The Force of Evil, then they know Starco.
But just in case there's someone who's listening and has never heard of Starco, Starco is the shipping of Marco Diaz and Star Butterfly, Princess Star Butterfly.
And in the sea of all the ships, because this show seems to have quite a few ships going, whether it's canon in the show or fans created, especially when they ship Marco with everybody. It's like, what the heck? Why is he the bachelor?
Which we'll address later.
Yeah, he's the bachelor all of a sudden.
Well, why is this ship our favorite? Because the characters are fleshed out, they're developed, they're wonderful each in their own way. They have this wonderful friendship that is being tested and has survived the test. They have a genuine love for each other. They're both kooky, funny, hilarious, and chime in anytime you want, Rascal.
Oh, of course, I'll let you go on and on and on. And of course, yeah, it's like when some people see it's kind of like when they say, oh, it's just the two main characters. Well, yeah, maybe that, but it's not just because, oh, they're the main characters. Cliche. It's because, as you said, they just work really well together. They have great chemistry, and it's suggesting the show, while not straightforward, people have understood. No matter what they ship in there, you can see why Starco works. Because when Star with someone else, there's not that chemistry, and when Marco's with somebody else, there's not that chemistry. It's only with them.
And it also helps that they both are kind. They both are really, really positive about everything. And last but not least, Marco Diaz is my spirit animal.
And yeah, it's really just absolutely fun to watch them together no matter what happens. And you would think when the show first starts that, oh, this isn't going to turn out too well because she's crazy as heck and he's organized as heck. And then it actually does work out because it's so balanced.
Right. Now, our second ship we're going to highlight is Wonder Bat.
Yes, it's my mama's favorite ship of DC.
Yeah, it's my favorite ship of all comic ships in terms of superheroes.
Okay, wasn't sure.
And in case you don't know,
it's the shipping of Wonder Woman and Batman.
Yes. And I know now that it has been displaced and the canon ship is supposed to be Wonder Woman and Superman, but I'm sorry, I don't accept it, and I know there's a lot of people that don't. Right. For me, what made Wonder Bat work and so wonderful is Wonder Woman is a Wonder Woman. You know, she's this Amazon, she's superpower, she's brilliant, she's beautiful. She literally could have any man in the universe she wants. And she picks Batman, who has absolutely no superpowers except for his billions of dollars, his can-do attitude, his detective skills, and that no matter what happens, he won't quit. And without superpowers, no one can kick his butt. And she chooses this regular mortal man to fall for. That is one of the great reasons for me why Wonder Bat works so well. And
this was seen in the anime series Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. And it was actually hinted more strongly in the sequel series than the first one because they also have more standalone adventures. And it was pretty clear they liked each other, but nothing ever became official because of the reasons of their superhero lifestyle. Batman thinks, oh, this won't work out because of this and that. Like, yeah, these are kind of excuses because anything you kind of worried about when you're a regular person, you have to worry about with her because she can handle herself. You already know her identity half the time. She can fight crime. She knows your secret identity. So yeah, there's really no reason for it not to happen. And it's actually way better because now, as you said, DC has kind of changed what was canon. Now they want to ship Superman and Wonder Woman, call them the power couple, when for years it's been Superman and Lois Lane. So now they guess they want power for power.
And for me, that's why the ship doesn't work. It's a power couple. There's nothing that balances one or the other. You know, Wonder Woman, and Batman's attributes and their differences make one complete couple. But you got Wonder Woman and Superman, and they're pretty much the same except for Wonder Woman isn't an alien. And yeah, they're both great characters, but for me it's just too much super in the relationship.
Right. And you can even see in the anime universe with the movies, they're trying to make you like them by giving them lots of moments together. But just like with Jarko, no offense, there's just nothing there. Nothing's clicking.
I like them separately, but not as a ship.
Right.
Our next ship is from Voltron, Allurance. And for those of you who are not familiar, it's Allure
and Lance.
Oh, that's not the one I
Would
thought.
you want? Oh, wait, you're talking about the one with Keith, right?
I wanted
Kalora.
I wanted Kalora.
And strangely, not many people cared for that ship when it first started out. It wasn't really popular.
So let's talk about the one that was the desired ship, Allurance.
Oh, right.
Which is Allura and Lance.
Right. And as you know, if you've been in the Voltron community long enough, you know shipping's kind of a hot topic with the show. Most people wanted clans, but it looks like within this show they're going to go Lance and Allura, because not only were they together in the original 80s show, he liked her in the very first episode, and it went from being just him constantly hitting on her to actually starting to like her, and it was starting to become romantic. It wasn't just him being a goofball. It really was developing into much more, and it's just been building up for 7 to 8 seasons.
Right. And I actually like it because it does seem genuine. It seems now more genuine because it didn't start off, liking each other and having these ups and downs like on Legend of Korra where, she and Mako, you kept wanting to be together, and they got together, then they fought, then they broke up, and then they strayed, and it was just like that ship was totally ruined for us.
Yeah.
But Allurance, the way it started off, you saw the humor and the fun, and you didn't think there was any way in heck if you hadn't thought about them duplicating what happened in the 80s, and they would be together, and they are.
Right.
And he seems really genuine. And she really, really likes him. The most telling scene to me was when the mice told her, those little gossiping mice, and she didn't seem to revolted. She didn't say anything, but did he? Is that what he said? And he was like,
there's something there.
And I am predicting that the biggest ship on Voltron at the end of this series is going to be Keith and Shiro. Didn't see it coming before season 7, and that's called a name that I just don't like.
It was Sheath.
I hope there's a different name for this.
It was Sheath, but most people kind of stopped shipping it after they believed that after one scene in the show, don't want to give any spoilers, they thought it was going to be, really was brother-like, and some people stopped. They said, okay, we're fine with that, and they quit.
Right, I never shipped it. I never thought it would even be a ship until season 7, but it's coming like a freight train. So I think the two canonical ships are going to be Allurance and, for lack of a better word right now, a ship named Sheath.
And I personally, this is just me, I'm not really into the shipping of this show. I'm more into the story. So I kind of see how the non-shippers of Star Wars of Evil feel. It doesn't matter who's together for me. It's just like, it just...
Also, you're going to throw me under the bus during the podcast.
No, I'm not. That's in me.
It doesn't matter to me either. I personally never saw Shiro shipped with anyone, and I told you that. He was just Space Dad, and I could not wrap my head around him even being with Allura when everyone thought that was going to happen. The only one that I thought I saw coming was, what did you say it is? Kalora?
Kalora,
Yeah, because of course, when he got ready to go to meet the Galra, and he finds out that he's half Gara, but he didn't know. And she had been treating him really horribly. And she apologized. That is why I thought it was coming. And then, of course, because he's part Gara and she's Altan, and I thought maybe okay. That is why. So don't throw me under the bus.
I'm not doing
I don't ship Shiro with anyone, honestly. But I do think that this is where it's going to go, especially with the development of the quick development and cessation of Adam. Although you think at some point he's going to probably appear again in the show. Maybe it'll go there. But to me, all signs are pointing to there being a final ship with he and Keith. Keith is an adult now. Shiro's older. They both have leadership roles. It just, to me, signs like all points to there. Because you're beginning to really see how much Keith loves him. And it no longer looks like it's that brotherly or... familiar love. It just doesn't.
And one more thing, No, regardless of who you ship on Voltron, what we say is no disrespect to your ships whatsoever. We're okay with anything, whatever you ship, it's the clans or Adachi, Color, no matter what you ship, we're
just
completely
love the
fine
show.
with it.
And this is just a fun podcast on ships that we love or we've seen or we know that are pretty popular. Mm-hmm. And we even have a couple at the end that we think are ships that should have happened but didn't.
Right.
So this is all fun. And if you have some ships that you think should be canon, or you happy they're canon, or you wish they were canon, be free, feel free to put them in the comments below. Mm-hmm. We love to see them and sharing your joy with you of your ships.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next ship we're going to talk about is, from what Rascal says, it was called Robstar from Teen Titans, Robin and Starfire.
Yeah, I don't think people really use that anymore. That may have been left over from during the show, but right. I think people probably still use it, even though they ship Robin with probably, Batgirl or someone else.
Well, this is one I thought was adorable and sweet on the show, and like most people who watched it, we were waiting for it to become canon, and it took to the last friggin' movie that ended the series, right. The TV movie, where it became official. And it's like, why?
Well, from my experience, it seems like the writers don't know how to write relationships once they get together, or they have to do it at the end of the series, because if they don't, minus Kim Possible, they break them up. They'll have them together for a little bit, it'll be fine for a few episodes, and all of a sudden they argue, fight, then break up. And then they're happy with someone else. And it's like, what the heck? Why are you building the hell up and you can break them apart and someone else? Then don't build it up.
Well, this is one I really like personally. I don't know about you since you're throwing me under the bus. I really, really liked Robstar. I really, really liked it. And it was just cute and it was sweet. And it was before the character Starfire was ruined as an adult. It's before Nightwing became a gigolo and a Lothario and everything else they made him. Although Nightwing is one of my favorite characters, so, no comments. Right. I love Nightwing. Well, but they changed both of their personalities as adults. Mm-hmm. And in this animated show, they were both sweet. There was innocence, naivete, and that's what made it wonderful and beautiful, and that is the reason why this is truly one of my favorite shows. Right,
because Teen Titans, despite having that edge on it, and action-packed and actually a real superhero show, it still had to be kid-friendly, so there were still many things they couldn't do later. And we get to the DC animated movies, as you said, when they're grown up, then they were able to go past those limits and do a more adult relationship.
Right, and then it all changed. But for me, this first one is really, really sweet. I do like Batgirl and Nightwing, but again, we're talking about this show and what seemed to be the first love for both of them, so it's really sweet, and that is why we're highlighting it in our favorite show.
Yes.
The next one is a bromance, and that is the way we take it, as a bromance, although it is left to you to decide in this show. Tiger and Bunny!
Yes! And you're going to probably see this a lot if you type it in. There are an infinite amount of people that ship these two together. And for explanation, within the show, if you watched, you saw what happened with Cortez's wife, and you know what's going on with Barnaby. Right. And writers have left it ambiguous, meaning that leaving it up to the viewers to decide, do you see the relationship as romantic? If you do, then it's canon. If you don't, it's also canon. Right. So they have many situations where it looks like it could be one way or the other. It just depends on the person. So everybody is satisfied.
And we're satisfied with the bromance. We love the bromance between these two.
Right.
They just play off each other. Bunny, the straight man. Tiger, the unintentional funny man. And of course they make them both tall. They're both good looking. They both have their strengths. They both have their weaknesses. And they end up at the end of season 1 just complimenting each other, and you understand why the bromance works. And then the movies help to flesh it out even more.
Right. As it goes on, it's always funny how it's built up like this buddy cop relationship where they can't stand each other, constantly fighting. I'm sorry, that was one of the best parts, just seeing them go at it, because they were constantly at each other's throats. And when I told Mom about this, I said, I kind of see it, like, I'm more worried about if Tiger will come up missing at some point because he drives him so crazy. Like, he's been missing for a few days. Like, oh, we don't talk about him. You don't talk about him coming up missing. Then a relationship like that. But as you said, as it goes on, it does, get better, it improves, and they really become buddies. And what happens with Tiger later on in the series, and Barbara being so distraught, and you see he really does care about him.
And their final love of Japanese fried rice, which we eat all the time now, especially hibachi style with the garlic butter. But yes, this bromance is my favorite now. Absolutely my favorite. I can't get enough of Tiger and Bunny. Their antics, their adventures, their work relationship, their off-work relationship, their learning to just be the best bros ever. And I can't wait for season 2. I can't wait for more movies. We absolutely, positively, idyllically love Tiger and Bunny.
Yes, and his little bunny. I'm not a bunny.
The next 2 ships are from the original franchise for Monster High, and our 2 favorites, and I think that's correct for Rascal as well. The first being Cleo and Deuce.
Right. And when they have it in the movies, if you watched Monster High, and it's so different from when you see these other plays on Monsters or on High School. And the relationship is like something you would probably think was a joke. Because Cleo is the popular girl at the school, of course. And
but he's also a popular guy.
Right.
The only difference is that she's wealthy. She's a princess.
And he's just cool.
And he's just the son of Medusa. But he's cool and he's popular. So they're both popular.
Right.
Both popular.
And the way he acts, the way they both act, you think, okay, this has got to be a joke. This can't be right. But as it goes on, as the web series goes on, and you see the CGI movies, they really do love each other.
And Deuce adores her. It is so sweet.
Yeah, when we said
anything for her.
It's hilarious. Because in one movie, when she left, he found her. He said, "Okay, my life makes no sense without you. Don't leave ever again."
I'm like, wait a minute, these are teens. But yes, it's so cute, so sweet. I love this. This is in the same category for me as Robstar. I really, really like this show. And our second favorite is Claude and Dracula.
Right.
Which is equally just as sweet.
Right. And of course, we watch the show. Claude is Claudine's brother, and Dracula is the daughter of Dracula.
But she's a vegetarian.
Right. So there's no getting violence there.
Or I should say vegan. Yeah, she's
actually vegan. Yeah, it's hilarious. And theirs is pretty playful too, especially when it's given a huge spotlight in the Valentine's movie, Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love?
Yes.
And it cements their relationship, showing how much Claus cared for her, even though he's not like the charming southern, what was that guy's name? Valentine.
Right. With his fake southern accent.
Right. But it really is just fun to watch. And it's
that
innocent.
is one of my favorites out of as you know, that's one of my top 2 favorites out of the Monster High original franchise is Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love? Because of all the same things. You see why they make a wonderful couple. You see someone, as you said, fights for her heart, and by using subterfuge and magic, tries to get it, but in the end they end up together, and you're happy, and you know why they are a wonderful canonical ship in the original Monster High franchise.
Right.
Now we're going to go to the Lego movie for one of Rascal's favorite ships, which I like too, but this is one of her favorites, and that's Emmett and Watchstar, a.k.a. Darkstorm, a.k.a. Lucy, a.k.a. Snazzy Pants.
Yeah, she kept changing her name for something before that movie. It was hilarious. And at first off, she's with Batman. And only a little kid would do that. When you know what happens in the movie and you get all these hints, she's with Batman. It's like, wait a minute, you're not in the DC universe. If so, then you're like missing.
Right.
And Emma, of course, likes her because the first thing is on, he like froze, and he just froze there for a while. And also the build up, instead of a kiss like you would normally see, since this is a little boy coming with the stuff, the most romantic thing you can have in Legos are holding hands. That's about it. So there are moments where they're about to hold hands and something interrupts them. So that's about as romantic as it's gonna get. And it's absolutely hilarious because You know, she can...
Poor, innocent, naive Emmett.
Right.
And more worldly Wild Style.
Right. And he's terrified of everything before he becomes a master builder. He's like, I want to go home!
Voiced wonderfully by Chris Pratt and Elizabeth Banks.
Right. And it's hilarious. They do work well off each other. And then you see she ends up liking him because of his personality, even though he's a regular guy. He wasn't a master builder at the time. Awesome. Right. And he was just strange. He wasn't really the special, but it was hilarious. And as you can see, his preview in Lego Movie 2 is still going strong. It's just that his only issue is he needs to toughen up a little bit. But he's such a kind-hearted person.
Yes.
It's too hard for him to do. He's like, oh, God, look, it's a rainbow!
It'll never happen. And we love you just the way you are, Emmett. Okay, our next ship is from the Young Justice franchise, Spitfire, which is Kid Flash and Artemis.
Mm-hmm. This one I actually saw coming because there's this cliche in all types of comics and shows where there's two characters that can't stand each other and they fight. They end up together.
Well, don't forget, Spitfire came about because Artemis could not get with anyone else. She wanted to be with Superboy, the Superboy.
Right.
She wanted to be with, I don't even know if she wanted to be with Robin. She may have
maybe.
Been.
Not sure on that.
She liked Red Arrow, and she liked someone else.
Yeah.
And she ended up with Kid Flash.
Right.
It was kind of like a consolation prize, and they ended up together.
Right. And I'm glad she had no interest in. She stated he's more like a brother figure. Right. So it was clear there was nothing between them.
Right.
But... yeah, like he has that coming, and especially when Wally kept hitting on Miss Martian, she was already with Superboy, and he couldn't figure that out till halfway through this first season. It's like, it took you like 20 episodes to figure that out.
But in the end, it works, and it's one of our favorite ships, regardless of how it came about. There are two strong characters, and in the second season, you see that they end up together, living together, going to school and making a life before the tragic ending to the dang season 2.
Right.
And you liked it. When you saw it, you like, this is nice. He's a nice guy. She's a nice girl despite, the family stuff that's going on. And you really liked that they ended up together. You saw that they complemented each other and they made a great ship.
Right.
Okay, so, our next ship is from another one of our favorites, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. And it's Pear Butter and Bright Mac,
which were Applejack, Apple Bloom, and Big Mac's parents.
Oh.
And you've seen this already. It's probably considered the greatest My Little Pony episode ever. And the episode The Perfect Pair, the family finds out they're actually part pear because the mom was part of the pear family and the dad was part of the apple family.
Right.
And they had this Romeo and Juliet styled story, and they really, really loved each other. And in the end, they got together. But the bittersweet part is something happened to them that they refused to address because they used past tense, like they were great, they were really great ponies, they were such a great couple, and it's like something happened to them sometime after they were all born, and it's never addressed in the show.
And now Granny Smith is the one who's being rearing them.
Right, because we did not figure it out despite all the family reunions they've had with aunts, uncles, and cousins, but no parents. So yeah, it's pretty much inferred that they're no longer around in Ponyville, which is unfortunately the sad part of it. But you love the story, and the end of The Perfect Pair shows that the love was always forever, and it lives through, Applejack and her siblings and the whole family.
And by one of the characters being voiced by the awesome and wonderful captain himself, William Shatner.
Right.
But you're right, this is, you said this is deemed the favorite episode?
Yeah, the best episode of My Little Pony ever.
Best episode. It is very sweet, very charming, very informal, as you said, very bittersweet. So if you haven't seen it, or if you haven't even seen this series, just watch this episode. You can watch this episode without seeing any of the other episodes.
Right.
And really just understand it and love it for how it was written and what it represents.
Right. You could even, it's pretty much taken as a standalone episode, so you don't have to worry about being lost with continuity or anything.
That's what I said. Our next ship is Yes, Newton and Kimmy from Sym-Bionic Titan.
Right.
One of the most unlikely ships that work in animation history.
Right. He's some type of robot hologram thingamajig, and she's spoiled, popular high school girl. Who would have thought that would ever happen?
Right. He's kind of like a biological robot.
I think he's kind of like
Yeah.
Vision. I think.
Yeah, I would say so. And Kimmy is like the cheerleader, the it girl. She's like Mean Girls, but she's not so mean.
Right. And it turns out, yeah, in one of the episodes when he has to tutor her, he starts to see that, since they all have a role to play and this is her role, and he tells her, you don't have to be stupid or have to be like this, despite what society says, that your brain's the most powerful computer there is, and it gets her to get her grades up and prove that she actually did have a brain.
Right. And again, this ship, it works. It was refreshing. It was different. It was unexpected. As you said, before seeing the Marvel live action movie, this was the first ship of that kind that appeared in the animated universe, made into a movie, not in the comic book version.
Right.
And I really liked it. I liked Kimmy and Newton together. I really did.
Yeah.
And I love your mashup you did called
was it Mean Titans?
Mean Titans.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you guys haven't seen it, you gotta go type it in my channel. You'll love it.
Yes, you will. Our next ship is, and we're winding down here, is one that we definitely couldn't pass up. It's definitely both of our favorites. It's Kim and Ron from the Kim Possible series.
Right. Proof that when two characters get together before a series finale, they can stay together. Just try to write. And this one you can see coming for a while too, even when the show was first starting.
Even though Kimmy couldn't see it coming.
Right, and it was clear, they liked, both of them liked other people, they tried other people, and you could even tell that whenever they stuck with somebody for a little bit, there was even jealousy there. And there's even a video online that surfaced that said this is proof that they liked each other way before they started dating. And it just grew stronger by the time they got to the the Drama movie, which was originally the end of the series, but thanks to fan support, Disney decided to give it one more season and just continue on from where it left off. And Kim and Ron were still a couple, and they didn't break up before the end of the series. They were still together from the time of the movie to the time of the end of the series, which was a miracle considering people don't know how to write ships after they're together. Like, oh, wait, you're together, there's no more build-up. Break them up!
But this ship really worked because they knew each other since they were playing in the sandbox. Again, you see them really big on sweet moments here. And then it ends up where it culminates in them being a canon couple. And they know each other so well, inside and out. They were best friends, and then became a ship. So it worked wonderfully.
Right. Yeah, and like I said, it was just great scene. It even was taking forever to build up for 3 seasons in a movie. It was still, great to see, and their friendship was really endearing. No matter how weird Ron is, he always had Kim as his friend. And like I said, when we saw the one where they went back in time, you saw how they first met. And it's funny because you get all these other the kids at the school, and I'm like, how are you end up friends with him? And like, yeah, there's a reason why he doesn't have that many friends, but he always had one loyal friend. And she always had a friend in Ron no matter what.
Right, definitely. Now, our last ship is really more of an honorable mention and an impossible ship at that. And it is Marco Diaz and the Harem.
Yes, and this has been created by the fandom because for some reason there are so many people that ship him with many different people. He seems to be the bachelor of the show. He's not just shipped with Star and Jackie. It goes beyond that. He's shipped with Star, Jackie, Tom, Jana, Darth Vader 13, Ponyhead, Hekapoo, Callie, Eclipse Moon, and it just keeps going on and on. There's like 10 right now. Oh, and that one character that was a squire, don't know her name. Yep, they shipped him with that too. That's like 10 to 11 people. Some are way over his age group, and they just ship him with him. And they said, and they don't age him up. They leave him the same age, and he shipped with a grown woman. It's like, okay, you keep your
thought
fantasy.
Maybe they were shipping him with Hekapoo as Marco in the future.
Oh, they were. And then some people do ship him as the future, and when he's his teenage age, even though Hekapoo's probably like thousands of years old. And I don't understand the the appeal behind that.
Their Voltron moment.
I guess.
Like with Allura being over 10,000.
Right, I guess. But it's just so strange. And I've seen this on Tumblr. And many people are going, what the fish is going on? Why is he the Bachelor? Why is he shipped with everybody? He's like the perfect shipper, apparently. And he's just with everybody. And kind of disturbing. If you ship him with any of these people, good for you. Oh, he also with Ponyhead too. Almost forgot to mention that. Oh, okay. If you happen to ship him with any of these people or all of them, go on ahead. We're not into that.
Have fun. Now our final ship is the ship that should have been, but wasn't. Is from Batman Beyond, Max and Terry.
Oh yeah, almost forgot about that one. It looked like it was being developed sometime in the show when Max was introduced, especially since he found out he was the new Batman. Mm-hmm. And the thing going on with his former girlfriend, what was her name again? Dana.
Voiced by the wonderful Lauren Thompson.
Right. And it seemed like, she broke up with him because of all his night work. She couldn't take it anymore, broke up, and then she was absent for quite a while. First we thought something going on with the voice actors, but no, she was fine. They brought in Maxine, who...
Voiced by the wonderful Cree Summer.
Right. And at some point she found out he was the new Batman. She was helping him on missions. So she was sort of the Batgirl of the group without being actually Batgirl.
Right.
And there was many hints leading up to them coming together.
There was just this great chemistry that you saw happening. And I don't know if it was because the writers wrote it that way or it just ended up being that way due to the writing of how the characters were getting along. But you were like, okay, he's going to dump Dana and he's going to be with Max. You just thought, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
This is like inevitable. It's going to happen.
And then, to our surprise, Dana comes back. He patches things up. And the next thing you know, Max is kind of taken down a notch to a side character who's still in the show, still part of the team.
Until they make the final movie where they act as if she never existed.
Right. And shockingly, I found out through YouTube in the comments of Batman Beyond video that said the writers were planning on making them a couple. But the network that was, I think either Cartoon Network or WB Kids, that was airing it, told them that they did not want to do that. So
well, thank goodness that television is no longer that way, whether it's animation or live action.
Right. And they told him, no, they did not want to have a couple like that. So they told him to rewrite it. So they had to go back and write Dana back into the show, write them back together, and change up everything they had planned.
And try to make her more likable.
Right.
In the beginning, you liked her, but then when you saw that she kind of seemed to be self-centered, you were like, Whereas Max really seemed to care more about Terry, what was going on, and tried to be there for him. And Dana began to be offended because he was always busy, always working. And as you said, they rewrote it and they started making her more accepting of what was going on.
Right. And the two biggest hits, if you see in for our episodes, there was this one where they had this guy who created the virtual reality way before it was invented, and she was living this life she always wanted, where she's valedictorian and she had like the best life she could think of. And it was like a drug, and getting constantly addicted. When he found the lair, he tried to, get her free. Right. And the guy tried to get him into the machine too, and it messed with his mind. And when all his thoughts were going to her, that was your big hint there. Right. Then the second one was when they had Cure, who was this assassin killing off all the original members of the League of Assassins. And when she was going after Max, he literally, he was doing one mission and she was doing another. He dropped everything and he told him, no, you can't leave. They just ignored him and went to find her to make sure she wasn't getting killed off. And they were happy to see each other. And those were like the biggest hints in the show that like, oh, there's something there. Then all of a sudden...
Right. So, R.I.P. Max and Terry, the ship that should have been but never was.
Right.
And there you have it. That ends our short list of ships. We could keep going on and on and on. Yeah, but for the sake of this podcast, we decided it should end.
Before you start, okay, I'm going to turn this off now. You're going on too long.
And again, as we said, let us know your favorite ships in the comments below. If you like some of our choices, or if you have even better ones, share them. We would love to see whom you ship.
Yeah, and once again, we're okay with whatever you guys ship. For any show, all ships are created equal.
Okay.
Well, I'm Oscar Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting, flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Met her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket.